All right, everyone, this is the moment every XRP holder has been waiting for. The Shane Ellis theory. The one people laughed off. The one they called a myth. They called impossible. But it is now playing out in real time. And guess what just dropped? Well, a company backed by Ripple, SBI, and Pantera. They just announced they're literally buying XRP off the open market to build a global institutional treasury. Everything we've been talking about for the past 8 years, suppressed price, controlled liquidity, accumulation before a supply shock, it is all connecting right now. This isn't tinfoil anymore, folks. This is public filings. And the puzzle pieces, well, they fit way too perfectly to ignore. Let's break it all down. We're going to start with the Shane Ellis theory itself. Then we're going to connect the dots to Evernorth's XRP's buyback and finally explain why the biggest asset managers on the planet are all suddenly aligning around tokenized liquidity. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll see exactly why this theory wasn't speculation. It was a blueprint. Without further ado, let's jump into it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and press that thumbs up. The more thumbs up we get, the more YouTube will push out the content, folks. Bitcoin, 108,633. ETH coming in at 3,894. And XRP, $2.43. Total cryptocurrency market cap, 3.76 trillion. It is still up almost 3%. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Now, let's talk about it. We know about the news. We know about the announcement that came out yesterday. Probably the biggest shockwave ever seen in crypto. Perfect timing, if you ask me as well, because this is announced. We're going to have, hopefully, the government, as they stated yesterday, should be reopening very soon. ETFs are going to roll out. Evernorth is going to go public and going to have $1 billion to buy back XRP. So let's talk about the Shane Ellis theory here. Okay, we're going to rewind. Many of you might not have been around when this theory was dropped. And at the time it was theory, they thought we were nuts, but now it looks like it's playing out. And I'll let you make that decision. The Shane Ellis theory came all the way back in 2018. It was a post predicting that XRP's true price wouldn't rise slowly, that it would get reevaluated suddenly through institutional demand once utility and liquidity corridors went live. The idea wasn't that XRP would moon overnight because of hype, but because of its actual mechanics. Once liquidity was constrained and real financial institutions needed XRP to move trillions, their price would have to reset instantly to handle global volume without running dry. That is the heart of the Shane Ellis model, liquidity-driven reevaluation. Think of it like a toll road, right? If only a few cars use it, the toll, it stays cheap. But if suddenly the world's entire trade system depends on it, the toll skyrockets overnight. Not because of speculation, but because of necessity. And now a company backed by Ripple's own leadership is preparing to do exactly what Ellis described: acquire XRP at scale, off the open market, under a regulated framework. It sounds familiar, doesn't it? Let's talk about Evernorth. And now, folks, don't forget those calls. Book it with me today. You want to know more about Evernorth? You want to know more about the new XRP plan, what we're looking at? This is the type of catalyst we get deep into, and this affects what we're going to do moving forward. You got tax questions, LLC setups, OTC, you name it. This call is all about you. When we talk more XRP, we talk about anything, folks, all crypto. It doesn't matter. And don't forget, join the free newsletter down below. I'll link it. It's free. Free's free. It's free. Go hit it up. So let's talk about Evernorth, right? Let's talk about the trigger event. So October 20th, 2025, the day the Shane Ellis theory started looking less like a theory and more like execution, right? Evernorth's Holdings is a Ripple-aligned company which is led by Ashish Birla. They announced, obviously, that $1 billion buyback. And now a lot of people keep asking, and they I don't know if they're quite wrapping their heads around it because I see in the comments, they're going to buy XRP OTC. No, they're not. They have announced that they will be buying XRP from the open market. If they are buying from the open market, that means they are going to be using the same routes that me and you buy our XRP from. Let that sink in, folks. This is not an OTC deal. Will it affect the price? 100 freaking percent it's going to affect the price. So they're building a regulated public traded company. And here's the article. It's on Newswire. They're building a regulated publicly traded XRP treasury vehicle, right? Think ETF meets Liquidity Hub. It is designed to hold, stake, and deploy XRP across institutional finance and DeFi. Now, I want you to connect the dots here. Shane Ellis said that once major players began absorbing XRP supply for institutional use, retail liquidity would dry up. We hit the point where market makers, they couldn't fill global corridors. 50 cents, a dollar, or even $10. And the system itself would demand a reprice. So Evernorth's model is a $1 billion XRP treasury that locks up supply for yield and institutional liquidity. It's literally the mechanism forming in real time. It's like the Ellis dominoes, they're finally starting to fall. Think about this. Ripple built the rails, Evernorth, they're buying the fuel. And once the train's running, there's no stopping it because you can't move global capital at pennies per XRP. Now imagine what happens when the largest asset managers in the world, they see this model succeed. The Ellis theory said a single event would light the fuse, and this might be it, which moves us over to this. So what does this all mean in plain English? It means that Evernorth is the institutional validation of the Shane Ellis theory. This isn't some random crypto startup. This is ex-Ripple leadership, which is going to be advised by Garlinghouse and Joe Schwartz, Stuart Alvarado, creating a fully regulated way for institutional money to actually hold XRP. That's the missing link that Ellis describes, the on-ramp for global liquidity that forces a repricing once the old market cannot supply the new demand. Think about it. Ripple's involved, SBI's investing, Citigroup is advising. This isn't speculation. This is the first domino in an orchestrated liquidity event. When the liquidity dries up and XRP starts being used across institutional corridors, the market has no choice but to revalue upward, and it needs to do it fast. That is what Ellis meant by overnight price discovery, not hype functions. So when Ripple builds it and Evernorth funds it, you're not early, you're positioned. But here's where it gets even crazier, because this isn't just about Ripple and Evernorth anymore, right? This is about Wall Street being next. I put out this whole tweet thread on it. You really need to go give it a look. I'm going to break it down. So Evernorth isn't just acting bullish here. It's actually rewriting MicroStrategy's playbook. Look, MicroStrategy, they purchased Bitcoin out of desperation. Evernorth is buying it out of XRP out of strategy. MicroStrategy, they duct tape crypto to a dying business model. Evernorth was born to accumulate XRP. It's legal, it's structured, and it's aligned with Ripple's decade-long vision of global liquidity. The Shane Ellis theory said institutional accumulation would quietly compress supply before the repricing. And that's exactly what Evernorth's structure does. Think about that. Every open market buy, every validated they run, every yield program they're involved in, it is all XRP locked away from retail circulation. If MicroStrategy was the prototype, Evernorth is the production model, built for scalability, regulation, and integration with the global financial system. And when Wall Street sees that model working, regulated, liquid, compliant, the capital floodgates stay open, which brings us to the last piece of the puzzle, BlackRock. So BlackRock's going to be at swell. BlackRock has already partnered with Ripple and VanEck, as you know. But BlackRock's CEO just stated that everything is going to get tokenized. Every stock, bond, and fund. Every blockchain is the new financial plumbing. Now, I want you to combine that with Evernorth XRP's treasury and Ripple's RLUSD stablecoin because you're watching the Ellis theory evolve into the Ellis reality. Because what's happening now is exactly what the theory predicted. The bridge between traditional finance and XRP liquidity is forming. And once Wall Street pipes into these rails, the old pricing model, it breaks. You can't have trillions in institutional flow and a sub-dollar settlement token. The market has to rebalance. This isn't a random coincidence. This is coordination. The Fed talking payments, Ripple building rails, Evernorth absorbing supply, and BlackRock opening the floodgates. The Shane Ellis theory was never about fantasy, everyone. It was all about invertibility. So here we are. The Shane Ellis theory in motion. The players are in place. The whales are live, and the institutional engines, they just kicked on. Drop me a comment down below. Do you think the XRP price reset will happen suddenly like Shane predicted, or gradually as adoption starts to scale? Either way, the next phase, it has begun. Hit that like button, share this video with another XRP holder, and subscribe because what's coming, it might make history, folks.